Hi, my name's Darren. I'm from MPULL. Sorry, there we go. All right. So many of you will know MPULL. We've been around since 2012, 2013. And the reason I say many of you will know is because we have been working with agencies primarily for the last 2 to 3 years. We describe ourselves as journey makers. This is in particular with the imminent launch of the Customer Hub. We wanted to find a way where we could offer kind of different types of journeys, not just kind of journeys around customer acquisition. And we wanted to be able to target or help with customers, employees, and channel partners as well. Yeah, I think at the moment what we do is we build acquisition journeys, onboarding journeys, retention and renewal journeys, cross-sell and upsell, customer service, usage engagement, and closing journeys. What we do is we map all of these out. It kind of ends up looking a little bit like this London Underground map that I've got here. And each one of those little kind of dots represents a piece of content. And you can see how these journeys intertwine and cross over and so on, which is exactly how customers end up or users end up experiencing the different journeys. So what we've seen, and this image is an old image, an old HubSpot image, and you know the premise of this is that you take the right content in the right place at the right time is the ideal format. Now with so much content out there, this has become even more important than before. And this is kind of where we've realized when we started doing a huge amount of back-end development and integration, because what we needed is we needed a way to make our the content super personalized, and we need to trigger content on a bunch of different variables, not just what was available within HubSpot. So we often had to integrate into different systems to get the triggers and also get that personalization. So what I'm going to talk about now is a little bit about our front-end development, which we've been doing for a long time, our new back-end development services, our front-end, back-end development together, which essentially builds platforms, and then the migrations that we do. So in front-end, we primarily work on the HubSpot CMS. We do also support WordPress, but in terms of this G2 Crowd grid, it's essentially we're working with the two leaders in CMSs. Our preference is definitely for the HubSpot CMS, but for clients that really have a requirement in WordPress, we can do that as well. So because we're working with journeys beyond just customer acquisition, when we do the strategy part and the design part of website projects, we now look at optimizing these websites for way more than just customer acquisition. We may be optimizing for employee acquisition, or we may be optimizing so that users kind of self-serve and get support off the website as opposed to logging a ticket with a call center. So it's an important part of the website building process is the strategy and design UX part. So different things that we're doing, obviously websites, there's e-commerce sites, there's microsites, landing and thank you pages, email templates. And then the last two I think are really important is interactive content and interactive infographics, and then calculators and JavaScript tools, which is more and more the type of content that we are producing. So in terms of the process we follow, it's very detailed. It goes from goal setting all the way through to go live, and in between that there's creating wireframes, content development, design, building the modules and so on. We've got this in a huge amount of detail. This is just a snapshot of the process that we go through. This is also just a snapshot of some budgetary costs. Everything is custom priced. But you can start at a very simple website at a cost of $6,000 and go all the way up to projects that are kind of over $80,000, depending on the size and complexity and needs of that particular client. Just some of the work that we've worked on in the past is there's Dual over here, which we did the design and development. This project, the agency that we worked with did the design, we did the development. Same with this one over here. with this project, we did the design and the development, and this one's actually built on Shopify. This was before HubSpot had the native Shopify integration. This one is built off modules in the HubSpot marketplace. And then this is an interactive calculator, completely custom built, where the user goes through a set of questions, and it ends up spitting out the home loan they qualify for. This one over here is an interactive infographic, which also the user goes through a bunch of interactive steps, and then eventually it recommends an MBA to that particular user. This I really like. It's an interactive game that was designed and developed as well as a strategy, and we wanted to find a way to showcase work, so do case studies, but without giving a normal PDF case study. So this project involved developing the game. When it comes to back-end development, this is the new area for MPULL that, as a result of an acquisition we made with an agency called SideClick, also based down here in Cape Town. They've got over 20 years experience in back-end development. The framework that they use is a PHP Symfony framework. If you go and do some research there, you'll see that it's one of the top frameworks out in the marketplace. So, sorry, I just want to go back a step. Right, so we've been using the customer journey infinity loop a huge amount because with the different customer journeys we're now working with, there's different areas throughout the process that needs context, personalization, and triggered communication. So we start off with awareness, we go to consideration, close, delivery of the product, onboarding, usage, service, and then converting to promoter, and then you upsell and cross-sell. So throughout this kind of infinity loop or these different steps, there's different areas that there are other third-party systems involved. There's need for that personalization, that context, triggers, and so on. So what I've done here is I've just used some examples of the different use cases throughout that infinity loop. So when it comes to acquisition, we've done several projects where an order is partially completed online, and then we actually create a deal in the HubSpot CRM for the person to go and finish the order, the salesperson to finish that order. There's a lot of SMS integration, sending SMSs throughout the process. Cart abandonment where someone hasn't checked out, and with the e-commerce platform pushes data into HubSpot using the HubSpot API, and then workflows are triggered. We also do, from an acquisition point of view, calls that are coming into a company, as well as text messages can be logged, contact records can be created, the call can be added to the timeline, deals can be created, all automatically using the HubSpot APIs. When it comes to retention, there's stuff around the renewal date. The renewal date of a particular client might be sitting in an ERP system, a different CRM system, a billing or invoice system, contracting system, and that gets then pushed into HubSpot and using the APIs, and we can then trigger communication, create deals, create renewal workflows. Maybe we can integrate into, especially if it's an online system, how often is the system being used? How often is it being logged into? If it's not high, then we can flag the customer success people to say, look, this person isn't using the platform that much, or the tool or the system, and so you need to engage with them, otherwise they might churn. Also, if the product is an Internet of Things product, then we can also do similar type of things there. When it comes to customer service, somebody brings in a product for service, how are you going to keep them up to date on the status of their repair? Especially if that repair is being managed in some other third-party system. You may want to issue a voucher from Uber, as an example, where you go and integrate into Uber, you get the Uber voucher that then gets pushed into HubSpot, so you can communicate that Uber voucher to the customer, and then you may want to then further integrate into a financial system so you can track how much are you actually spending with Uber. There's lots of telephony integration in customer service centers where you want to record calls, if they're not using the HubSpot VoIP system, they might be using their own, record calls, inbound and outbound, log call records, put them against the timeline so that you've got record of all customer service issues. Then from a upsell and cross-sell point of view, there might be a need to anything with a capacity. The number of times you've been to gym, you might have bought a 10 package, a 10 gym visit package, and you've reached your cap, or maybe it's bandwidth that you've reached your cap. Like being able to integrate into various platforms and systems to see when has this customer reached their cap, so you can upsell them more. Maybe it's got to do with financial services. When last did they make a deposit into their investment? What is the size of their investment? So you can encourage them to invest more. Maybe they've bought a particular product, such as a printer, and now you want to try and upsell them paper. That's information maybe sitting in a point of sale system that you need to integrate into. In terms of engagement, maybe they haven't logged into your platform recently or your system. Maybe there's certain parts of a tool that they're not using that you can then start sending them training and so on if you can integrate. And then we've done a lot of integration into medical devices, heart rates, sugar levels, exercise limits, all that type of thing that can then trigger even emergency notifications if necessary. And then, of course, there's onboarding kind of journeys where the start date of a particular customer might be recorded in some other system. Maybe a username is created, and that then pushes between HubSpot and notifies that there's a new customer, or even delivery. So, you send a courier to deliver something, you get a notification or integrate into their system so that that product is now delivered, and you can then initiate your onboarding and welcome the new customer. Some examples of back-end work. We did work with realestate.com.au where leads get pushed into the HubSpot CRM. Did an integration with SMEasy where people signed up and they signed up within the platform. We then used the API to get that information and then onboarded them. With this encryption company, people downloaded a 30-day trial. As soon as they installed the 30-day trial, we then initiated a workflow to get them to actually become a customer. And if that didn't work, we created the deal records and that type of thing. We've done many integrations with Microsoft Dynamics where the integration in the marketplace, it didn't do what it needed to, what we needed, and we've built a custom integration using the APIs. Then when it comes to front-end and back-end development, so MPULL's had the sales and marketing arm from the beginning. We've had our creative and front-end development arm, and we've recently now got integration and back-end development services. So putting all those three together really make for an amazing solution. So we've done the architecture, the user journeys, the business analysis, and then all the development of a platform, one of our own platforms called On the Bench. We've done a similar thing for a legal platform called ShareBrief and their sister company called MedBrief. And then we've done a platform for a shipping and trading platform called Freighter. And then a government platform for the Department of Health in South Africa, where nurses could log on and engage with their patients or record information about their patients. This over here is a crowdsourced donation platform that we built. Of course, we also do mobile applications. We build these in Ionic. And the example we have here is that application for nurses. Nurses are often in clinics in hospitals and need to access patient information on their mobile devices. Then we do a lot of migration work. So when it comes to migrations, we've done a lot of moving from one CRM to another. We've done a lot of so with a CRM busy, an old CRM or a legacy CRM, and moving that into HubSpot, transforming all that data, formatting that data. We've done a project where we've taken multiple CRM frees and we've used the API to send all that information from the various branch offices into HubSpot Enterprise Edition, where the head office could see all information across all their different branches. There's been a huge amount of work around exporting data, whether it's in Excel or in other formats, other third-party systems, formatting that data, importing it into HubSpot so that rich customer data profiles can be built. And then, of course, there's a lot of stuff around scripting to move content into the HubSpot CMS, into the HubSpot blogging platform. There is the WordPress tool that allows WordPress blogs to be moved into HubSpot. But what if the blog is sitting in Embraco or Joomla or Drupal or some other custom CMS, and there's hundreds of blogs that need to be imported? So we've created a lot of scripts over there. This is an example of a company that merged, and they had both were using HubSpot, and we then merged the two CRMs together. So that's us at MPULL. We'd love to kind of help you with your development requirements, front end, back end integration. Of course, anything else that MPULL does, from the customer journey, employee journey, or channel partner journey stuff as well. We've got our team back here, just over 50 people at the moment. We're working with many different agencies around the world with this. And I can tell you one thing for sure is that any customer that has had these deep integrations has held on to their customers, and there's much less churn because there's such deep integration and investment with HubSpot when they do that. So reach out to us, and we'd love to help you out. So thanks so much, shout if you have any questions.